Dust. Thick, choking dust. It swirled in the air, catching the faint beams of light that dared to enter this forsaken place. Each particle seemed to carry with it a fragment of a forgotten past, a whisper of a story left untold. It lay heavy on every surface, muffling the world in a shroud of grey. The dust was not just a physical presence, but a symbol of neglect, of time's relentless march forward, leaving behind only remnants of what once was. The library was a tomb for forgotten words and lost stories. Shelves that once held the promise of adventure, knowledge and escape now stood as silent sentinels, guarding the memories of countless lives and imaginations. Light struggled to pierce the grime-coated windows, casting the room in perpetual twilight. The few rays that did manage to break through were weak and feeble, as if they too were weary from the effort. The air hung heavy, stale and thick with the scent of decay. It was a smell that spoke of years of abandonment and dreams that had withered away in the silence. It felt like a place where time itself had ground to a halt. The clocks, if there were any, had long since stopped ticking, and the days and nights blended into one endless stretch of stillness. Towering shelves stretched into the shadows, groaning under the weight of countless volumes. Each book was a testament to human creativity and thought, now left to gather dust and decay. Each one a potential gateway to another world, now sealed shut by neglect. The stories within them, once vibrant and full of life, were now trapped, waiting for someone to breathe life back into their pages. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional creak of the aging building. It was a silence that seemed to press down on you, making you acutely aware of your own presence in this forgotten place. It was the sound of a long, slow exhale, as if the library itself were weary of holding its breath. The walls seemed to sigh with the weight of the years, each exhale a reminder of the passage of time, weary of its burden of forgotten memories. Each corner of the library held a story, a memory, a fragment of a life that had once been vibrant and full of promise. There was an unsettling feeling that permeated the very walls. It was as if the library itself was alive, aware of its own decay and the stories it held within. A sense of being watched, of being judged. The shadows seemed to have eyes, and the silence was filled with the weight of unspoken words and unfulfilled promises. It was as if the shadows themselves held secrets, dark, terrible secrets, that they were eager to share with anyone foolish enough to listen. The library was not just a place of forgotten words, but a keeper of forgotten sorrows and regrets, waiting for someone to uncover them. A sound, faint at first, barely audible. It was as if the very air was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The silence was thick, almost tangible, and then there it was again, a whisper so soft it could have been mistaken for the rustling of pages. A whisper slithering through the oppressive silence. It was a sound that seemed to crawl into your ears, making its way into the deepest recesses of your mind. It was unsettling, like a secret being shared in the dead of night. It seemed to emanate from the heart of the library, from the deepest, darkest corner, the place where the light never quite reached, where shadows danced and played tricks on the eyes. It was as if the very walls were alive, breathing out these whispers. It was a sound that spoke of pain and suffering, of rage and despair. It was as if the very essence of sorrow had been captured and was now being released, one whisper at a time. Each murmur carried with it a weight, a history of anguish that was almost palpable. It was the sound of a soul in torment, a soul that had been trapped, unable to find peace. The whispers were its cries for help, its pleas for release. They were filled with a desperation that was heart-wrenching, a longing that was almost unbearable to hear. The whispers grew, slowly at first, then with a sudden, terrifying intensity. They seemed to multiply, each one adding to the cacophony. It was as if the very air was vibrating with their energy, a symphony of sorrow that was both beautiful and horrifying. They swirled around the room, brushing against the back of your neck, whispering secrets in your ear that you couldn't quite make out. It was like being surrounded by 1,000 voices, each one vying for your attention, each one telling a different story. They were cold, like a winter wind blowing through an open grave. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones, that makes you shiver uncontrollably. It was a chill that was more than just physical. It was a chill that reached into your very soul. Each whisper sent a shiver down your spine, raising goosebumps on your arms. It was a sensation that was both thrilling and terrifying, a reminder of the unknown, of the things that lurk in the shadows. You strain to understand, to make sense of the cacophony. You lean in, trying to catch a word, a phrase, anything that would make it all clear. But the whispers are elusive, always just out of reach, always just beyond comprehension. But the whispers remain just out of reach, a maddening chorus of half-heard pleas and forgotten screams. It was like trying to grasp smoke, to hold on to something that was never meant to be held. The frustration builds, the sense of urgency grows. Something within the library was stirring. Something that had been dormant for centuries, now awakened by the whispers. It was a presence that was both ancient and powerful, a force that was beyond understanding. Something ancient and malevolent had been disturbed. It was a force that had been waiting, biding its time, and now it was free. The whispers were its heralds, its messengers, and they carried with them a warning of what was to come, of the darkness that was about to be unleashed. Your gaze falls upon it then, a book lying open on a pedestal in the center of the room. It seems to beckon you, drawing you closer with an almost magnetic pull. Its cover is blacker than the surrounding shadows, as if it absorbs the very light itself. The darkness of the cover seems to pulse, a living entity that breathes and waits. The pages are yellowed with age, brittle to the touch. They whisper secrets of the past, tales long forgotten and buried in the sands of time. But it is the ink that draws your eye, that holds you captive in its thrall. The ink is not merely red, it is a deep, unsettling crimson. Crimson, the colour of blood. It glistens in the dim light, as if freshly spilled, as if the book itself is alive and bleeding. It seeps from the binding, staining the pages a grotesque, indelible red. The ink flows like a river of sorrow, each drop a testament to the pain it has witnessed. Each letter is a wound, each word a scar etched into the very fabric of the book. The text seems to writhe and twist as if in agony. It is a chronicle of suffering, written in the lifeblood of the innocent. The stories it holds are not just words but cries for help, echoes of torment that reverberate through the ages. You feel a pull towards it, an irresistible urge to reach out and touch its corrupted surface. The book calls to you, whispering promises of knowledge and power, to trace the lines of its bloody script. Your fingers itch to follow the crimson trails, to uncover the secrets hidden within its pages. But something holds you back. A primal fear, buried deep within your subconscious, warns you to stay away. This fear is not just a feeling, it is a survival instinct, a warning from the depths of your soul. This book, you realize, is not meant to be read, it is meant to be feared. It is a relic of darkness, a vessel of malevolence that should never be disturbed. The air around it grows colder, and you can almost hear the faint whispers of those who have fallen victim to its curse. The shadows around the book seem to lengthen, reaching out like dark tendrils. The atmosphere grows heavier, as if the very room is alive with the weight of the book's sinister presence. Your hand trembles as you reach out, but at the last moment, you pull back. The fear is too great, the warnings too clear. This is not a book to be trifled with, As if sensing your hesitation, the book closes on its own, the finality of the motion echoing in the silent room. The message is clear. Some knowledge is too dangerous, some secrets too dark to uncover. Slowly, the room begins to return to normal. The eerie atmosphere dissipates, but the memory of the book lingers. It is a reminder of the darkness that exists, hidden in the corners of our world, waiting for the unwary to stumble upon it. The book remains a dark enigma, a silent guardian of its own terrible secrets. And as you turn away, you know that you will never forget the blood on its pages. Section 4. The Hold. As you stare at the crimson-stained pages, images flash before your eyes, vivid, horrifying glimpses into a past that refuses to die. You see the slave ships, their holds packed tight with human cargo, men, women, children crammed together like animals. The air is thick with the stench of vomit, sweat and fear. Disease runs rampant, claiming its victims with merciless efficiency. The cries of the dying mix with the groans of the living, creating a symphony of despair that echoes through the centuries. But it is the eyes that haunt you, eyes that have looked upon hell and seen things that no human being should ever have to witness. Eyes that hold a depth of pain and sorrow that is almost unbearable to behold. In those eyes, you see the reflection of your own mortality, your own fragility. Section 5. A Vessel of Anguish. The book is more than just a chronicle of suffering. It is a conduit, a vessel through which the anguish and despair of the past can seep into the present. You can feel its malevolence now, radiating outward like a physical force. It whispers to you, promising power in exchange for your soul. It tempts you with the secrets it holds, the stories it can tell. But you know that to succumb to its allure would be to invite madness into your heart, to allow the darkness that clings to its pages to consume you whole. You want to look away, to flee from this place of shadows and whispers, but something holds you fast. The book has you in its grasp, its crimson gaze boring into your very being. And you know with chilling certainty that it has no intention of letting you go.